Hi, and welcome to the Flex with Aaliyah. Today, I'm talking about setbacks. If you've ever encountered a setback and were able to overcome it, or maybe you're still stuck in a setback, this is a great podcast to listen to. I'm going to talk about one that I'm actually living through right now to give you a hard perspective of enduring it and potentially coming out the other side. So what is a setback? A setback is an event that delays your progress or reverses some of your already established progress. That's why it's so frustrating, because you know what you have already achieved and now you are 10 steps back. So you had a preview of a finish line, and all the work that you did to get to that point has been stripped away, and you still feel like you're at that point. So you keep comparing yourself to when you're at that finish line. And we tend to beat ourselves up about that. I do, because you know how good you are at whatever it is. Maybe you broke your ankle tripping on ice, slipping on ice, whatever it is, and you're trying to come back. And all you're doing is focusing on the outcome of how good you used to be, and you want to be in the same spot, actually becomes a hindrance, because it stalls you from going through the process. And that leads me to the quote that I have for today, which I absolutely love. It's resilience is the art of embracing setbacks as opportunities for growth and transformation. A lot of us, myself included, when a setback happens, boom, that's the end all be all. But it's not. That is far from the truth. When a setback occurs, it is a temporary moment. However, it feels everlasting because of the impact it has on our lives. For me, a couple weeks ago, I ended up dislocating my elbow at a world championship event. Like, I felt like an idiot to be at that level and have something happen. In the grand scheme of things, it takes nothing away from me as an athlete or as a person. It was just something that happened. The event that occurred was I had gone back out to practice after it had rained, and I was trying something I had previously tried when it was dry. And I kept fumbling, and I tried it again, and this time that I tried it again, I ended up falling and catching myself on my arm. That impact ended up dislocating my elbow. It popped back. The x-ray is actually pretty cool. Some of you guys might be a little disturbed by it, but I work in the health and fitness industry, so I find it fascinating. Not in the moment. In the moment, I was actually very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable holding my arm, because I was like, this doesn't seem right. But I couldn't actually see my elbow popping out the other side. Not the skin, don't worry, didn't break the skin. Just the bone was dislodged back. So if you know what your Achilles looked like, that's kind of what my elbow looked like. It had that, like the tendon, that's what it looked like. It looked like your Achilles tendon pushed back on your ankle. And I couldn't see that. I just know my arm was no longer functioning, my forearm, and it hurt, and it was heavy, just hanging there. So I was holding it with my other arm. And that's a huge setback for me, especially in my life. I work in the health and fitness industry. I have competitions coming up. I was at a world championship. Goodness gracious. How frustrating was that? And I think it was more embarrassing than anything else, because I feel like if I'm at that level, I shouldn't let that happen. But good news is it's not an injury that was due to skill or overtraining. It was something happened. I slipped, tried to catch myself, and it went in the complete opposite direction than I expected. No pun intended, because the elbow did go in the other direction. You get the point. And dealing with that in the moment, there's a lot going on. You have the emotional side because I'm at an event. You have the physical side of, holy shit, when am I going to be able to race again? What's going to happen to my arm? Is there any further damage that's been done? And then reality sinking in of, I can't even go to the bathroom and use my right hand. I can't brush my teeth or do my hair or shower, take my shirt on and off. It's kind of debilitating when these everyday tasks are now abnormal and you're struggling to complete them, especially as an independent person who prides themselves on their physical ability. This is so hard. I will say dealing with a back surgery was a little bit harder and I needed more assistance. That was a good portion of my body that was recovering. This was still needed help and was challenging, but it was so uncomfortable. Sleeping, trying to eat with my left hand. Man, that was actually really hard. I'm picturing, I remember trying to use a spoon and I had to like bring my face down to the bowl, even when I used my left hand, because it was so not familiar with those fine motor skills that my right hand's used to, being right hand dominant. And not only did this impact my living capability initially, it also impacted my work. And there's that physicality piece to it, coming back to work, not being able to demonstrate movements for my clients, show them certain things, and also feeling like an idiot of being injured, talking to these people about how to execute things well. So I was a little embarrassed. Absolutely. Was I going to let that show? No, but inside I absolutely was handling that bit of shame, which comes along with it. Sometimes you don't have control over that. It's the emotion that is paired with it. Oh my God, I was exhausted on so many fronts. Discomfort, emotional, recovery, lots of things were going on. And in the moment, I held myself together so well. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. That luckily that wasn't the straw that broke the camel's back. That came later, like something silly. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I was holding everything together so much and trying to put on this front that I was okay, that a moment came where I kind of broke down. And that's not something people see or tend to associate with me, because I don't really like that. I don't like putting it on display. But is it reality? And should you be aware that it happens, and it can happen to me, your coach, your trainer, your fellow competitor? Absolutely. But I try not to dwell on that feeling too much. One, I'm impatient and I want to heal. But secondarily, it's I have the knowledge and means to get through this with what is still functioning. It's not an end-all, be-all. Just because my arm is no longer functioning doesn't mean the rest of me is out of commission. And people tend to forget that. They think that this is it. This is all of it. You're down for the count, so you're out of commission. Hell no. That's my perspective. Sure. Could I not do things with my right arm? Absolutely. But what could I do with my right arm? I had to go to the doctor, and I put a lot of time into that, figuring out if there was any soft tissue damage, what could I do? And we did a lot of movement therapy, trying to loosen muscles up, because the biggest thing with my dislocation was it was bent, that now things are getting tight. And the concern was that you wouldn't be able to reach the full extension again, which is straightening your arm. So boots to the ground, that's what we did. That's what I did. I took that on wholeheartedly. Like, we're going to get this damn thing straight, and it's going to happen. Because I'm not sitting in this little hellhole suffer fest for too long. I'm going to make some action happen. So went to the doctor. He did some release techniques, loosened it up quite a fair bit. And then I had my homework. I went home, I stretched it nonstop. I did a lot of therapy to it. And what did I do with the rest of my body? Did I not work out? If you know me, you know that that was not the case whatsoever. I figured out a way. Was I doing a lot of grip stuff? Absolutely not. Because if I fell, heck, I like people looking at my arm made it hurt, let alone something gently grazing it. Ooh, my God. I was mopping one day in the gym and a static ring for ring rose hanging, tapped my elbow and oh my God, it sent me into a tizzy because it hurt so bad. Oh, so I had to be careful that while I was doing stuff, I was conscious about my space and what was happening, not tripping. My spatial awareness was very important. Heck, I didn't even let anybody walk on my right side for a while. And eventually, where it was kind of okay, someone walked on my right side so no one else could bump into me or accidentally graze it. Someone probably would have lost their life if they touched it, because that's how uncomfortable that sucker was. So the setback, as the quote says, presents an opportunity for growth and transformation. Now, that doesn't mean like my patience is going to become the best patience ever, but it's how am I going to attack this puzzle and come out better on the other side? And if I look back to some other injuries that I had, so my back surgery that I had, before I went into that, I could do a decent amount of pull-ups. When I came out of surgery, because hanging put this pull and tension on my back, pull-ups actually were really challenging. But gosh, do I love them. So I wanted to get back into it. I wanted to balance out my back muscles. And I had the best pull-ups and muscle-ups I had prior to my back surgery as a competitive athlete. And I was like, whoa. And that's because of the due diligence you're putting into it. So I know when I come out of this, all the work that I'm putting into stabilizing, strengthening is going to pay dividends after. I can't see it right now because I'm still in the frustrated state, but it's there. And one, having been here before, I know what awaits for me on the other side. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be upset. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have my days where I'm complaining. Doesn't mean it's not going to bother me that I'm not progressing as far. I'm going to feel all those things, just like a normal person, just like you feel. But what I'm not going to do is live in that feeling. I dislike and disdain that feeling so much that I know I'm going to get to the other side. I'm not going to stay here long. Hell no. So if you're dealing with a setback, perhaps you're unfamiliar with coming out on the other side. Be patient. Trust it. Maybe you need to reach out to help depending on what the setback is. Some setbacks are not physical. Some of them are emotional. Some of them are financial. Mine, this particular one that I'm talking to you guys about today, is a physical setback. I guarantee there was emotional setbacks when this injury happened. Like I said, I felt embarrassed. Not a pleasant feeling. I like being untouchable. I like the idea that I'm invincible. Am I still going to think that about myself? Abso-freaking-lutely. Because that is the character I'm creating for myself to ensure these next weeks, days, that I do everything I'm supposed to do. And that's not easy. It's tiring because I'm putting so much energy into the recovery that it is taxing mentally, physically, emotionally. Now, other things in my life sometimes are a little hard to deal with. But coping and handling those are going to make me able to deal better after this moment. And also, I have amazing people around me who understand. They might not fully understand what I'm going through, but they're empathetic. They know that maybe I have an outburst. It's not personal. In the moment, it might feel very personal, but it's not. The members at my gym, they know They're not forcing me to demonstrate moments because they know I can't, but they know I'm doing the best that I can given the situation. And that's embracing the setback, which is going exactly back to that quote. Resilience is the art of embracing setbacks as opportunities for growth and transformation. Sure, I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I've had this setback that now I can grow and transform into this beautiful butterfly. Absolutely not. That is not what I'm thinking. But I'm going to take it, apply what I know to the situation to come out better. Who knows what better looks like? I can't tell you right now, but I know. I guarantee my grip strength is going to be better. My shoulder stability is going to be improved just because of all these smaller things that I have to do that maybe I had taken steps away from because I didn't need to do them. So dialing back is really going to help. And that is seizing this opportunity and not letting it suffocate me. If you let a setback suffocate you, you're gonna end up letting it be your excuse as opposed to your potential. So thank you so much for tuning into the Flex with Aaliyah today, where we talked about setbacks, my setback, and small steps that I'm doing to overcome it. A lot of them are physical more than anything else. It's that belief that I'm gonna come out of it. But really, it's the disdain for feeling as low as I feel. Not being accepting of this state. That's really what takes me from setback to progress, from setback to opportunity and growth. So if you're struggling with a setback, find something that you don't like about the setback to propel you forward to do the work. Because if you're content feeling like poo, you're going to stay there. If you're content not giving two shits about your progress, you're not going to do anything. So assess how you're feeling about the situation and then make strides to overcome it. Because you got this. If you need help or you need someone to talk to, reach out to me. I'd love to talk about it. Again, thanks for tuning into the Flex with Aaliyah, and I will catch you next time. But make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Heck, comment, because I'd love to start a dialogue with you. Have a wonderful day, guys.